And you guys are live.
Good morning. Good morning, all, and welcome to the Design Review Board. Good morning. I call to order the Design Review Board for February 1st, 2022. The first item on the agenda are the minutes of January 18th, 2022. Do we have any questions or corrections on any of the minutes?
No.
If not, okay. If not, then I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll give the motion.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And the first item on our agenda is the core commercial district at 27 Newtown Lane. Is the applicant present?
Yes, that is me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great. Can you explain the project, please?
Sure. Yes, what we are with the application in front of you is for the removal and reinstallation of a new storefront on the front elevation. It would be a new wood door. The glazing would be replaced, and the columns in the storefront themselves would be wood, a painted wood, and the color on the paint would be white to match the existing building. Also, the replacement of the rear entry door to a wood door and removing the aluminum and glass.
Okay. And I noticed that the glazing replaced, and you're going to put new wood mullions or new wood, verticals, horizontal?
Yes, the storefront probably will be broken up more than what the columns are themselves. I know they want to try and keep as much glass as possible for display.
Of course, yes.
So that, it would be minimal on the muttons themselves, yes.
The mutton. Okay. Thank you. Tom Parado, your input on this application? Tom?
Thank you, Robert.
Good morning, Tom.
Good morning. Good morning,
Tom.
Good morning.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board. No, I had spoken to Mark previously on this, and it's pretty straightforward. Any ADA compliance that could be brought up, we would look for that.
Okay.
Obviously, it's not going to have a ramp, but the hardware, etc. But no, overall, no comment.
Perfect. Thank you, Tom. Any questions from the board, or any board members have any questions regarding this application?
I
So,
wouldn't take the old door off yet until I make sure if you get a new one. But I understand that they're getting very hard to get wood product, windows, doors, garage doors, what have you. So it looked good to me.
Okay. Any other questions? Billy Hayjack, are you with us? I think you are.
Morning. Yep, I'm here.
Good morning. Any input on this application?
No, I have no comments to offer.
Good.
I just wanted
Okay.
to clarify that it is white. The color is white to match what's existing. Is that correct?
Okay.
Yes, it will be, yes.
Okay. I saw the
Okay.
sample. The printed on white paper. I couldn't really see the
Yeah,
colors.
a little difficult to tell. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
So-
Then I'm sorry, Ann.
no, I just want to make sure I'm clear. The windows are staying the 3 display windows, but the doors are going to be a wood mullioned divided light door. Is that what changes?
Yes, and also the columns within the storefront are going to go wood also, and painted wood to match the doors. What
But
they're
it's
trying to
just,
do is eliminate all the aluminum.
Eliminate.
so it's still going to be the same size, the display windows. It's just going to have wood framing around
Correct.
it, if I'm understand. Okay,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments on this application?
Is the door size increasing or will it be remaining the same?
Door sizes will stay the same. And I believe they are 3.0 on both the front and the back.
Okay. Thank you. If there are no other questions or comments? May I have a motion to approve this application?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ann. Do I have a second?
Will second.
Thank you, Cheryl. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you all, and thank you, applicant. The next item on our agenda is the timber frame landmark at 50 Cross Highway. Has everyone looked at those drawings?
Yes, we
Okay.
did.
Thank you. And is the applicant present?
Jody, are there any callers?
There are
I'm
no
sorry,
callers on the
Pam.
line.
I was just wondering if Andy Triffitt had called in. I sent him the link, but maybe you can jump to Woods Lane Holdings?
Yeah, let's hold off on 50 Cross Highway until the applicant joins us. Okay, the next item is the historic district at 6 Woods Lane, which we've discussed in past meetings, and I believe Robert Strada is here. Good morning, Robert.
Yes, good morning, everyone. And
Good morning.
yeah, happy February in advance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. We also love the snowstorm. Thank you.
It was great. It was a lot of fun until it wasn't. Right.
Exactly.
Right. I'm back because of something that was deemed to be important to come back with.
Yes.
You have already seen the proposed east and west elevation changes,
Right?
and
Yes.
you've approved them. One of the things that's transpired since then has been a lengthy conversation about the original windows in the attic on the east elevation. And that has led to our coming back today to say, instead of having a gable roof over the proposed second story addition, which you've already approved, we'd like to go with a flat roof and keep the existing windows in the
Okay.
attic. And that's what this is all about.
Yes.
There's no other changes other than to tell you that instead of having the gable roof on the east addition, it'll be a flat roof and it will have a handrail around it exactly as the other handrails are on the structure. So they'll match. And this way, those original windows will stay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Robert, for bringing us up to date on that. And I did notice that revision in your drawings. Thank you. Tom Parado, do you have any questions or comments on this application?
Thank you, Robert. No, not particularly. As far as
Okay.
zoning code, et cetera. No, I think it's more aesthetic.
I mean, nothing has changed. All
Right,
we've done
exactly.
is put an effort in to preserve the original windows in the attic.
Absolutely.
Understood. No
I'm
comment.
sorry.
I'm sorry, Robert. Yeah, no.
No, it's okay. There's like a little delay on the video this morning. Any other board members? Amy, any questions or comments on that or?
I think that knowing that that's the reasoning why you want to have that flat roof, and now I am like taking note of those windows. I think they
Yeah.
do look really nice, and I do like that you want to keep them. I think it still holds a really nice look for the whole house. I think it still looks beautiful. So I think it looks very nice.
Yeah,
Thank
Amy,
you.
standing in the attic where there is a sitting room, a
Mm.
pre-existing sitting room, and suddenly you realize, wait a second, what are we doing? What are we doing with these windows and losing
Yeah.
them? It was just apparent that it was a mistake.
Yes.
Yeah, that natural light.
Yeah, and it's overlooking the pond. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound like a no-brainer, but in hindsight, it really is a no-brainer. It never should have gone this far. So
Well,
Is there any access to the?
No. no access, no access.
No.
No. However, Cheryl, I'm glad you brought that up. Our engineer has had to calculate the load as if someone or many people could climb out the window and stand on that deck, which he has. Tom Priato will be happy to know that the engineering remains unchanged and that it will support a load, but there's no access to it. There's no door there.
Right.
But in the
Well, it's a
event,
beautiful view.
no, it's a great view. It's
Yeah.
a great view. But in the event that there's some trouble or a need for egress, people can escape through there and stand on that.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Cheryl, there's no door.
Oh,
There's
Right.
no easy way out. Right.
Yeah.
You won't see a party there this summer. No.
No. And you know, I have to say, just regarding that statement, I mean, 20, 25 years ago, I could have easily have jumped out of that window, but now I think I need a ladder to get to the window and a ladder to get outside the window. So, but
They're wonderful windows. I mean, they're irreplaceable.
they are beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, it's great that both you and your client came to the realization to leave it the way it is. And that's a very good attitude.
I have a separate question, if I may, after you decide whether this is okay or not.
Sure.
My
Yeah,
question concerns the lengthy conversation we once had about the roof, but it's unrelated to this application.
Oh, okay. Well, I see no problem with this, and I actually think that the applicant, they came to a good decision regarding leaving the beautiful window and leaving the outside porch the way it is, because it does have a nice view of the pond, and it's pre-existing and it looks great. Are there any other questions or comments regarding this application?
oh, looks
Okay.
good.
Thank you, Cheryl. Then if there are not, then I would entertain a motion to approve the application. Do I have a motion?
You're making a motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
Okay, thank you. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you all then.
Thank you. If I
thank
could
you.
return to a subject that you're going to think we've beaten to death. In the amount of time that it's taken to arrive at a decision, I hope that you'll be pleased with what we're thinking about when it comes to the roof. Now, there's an existing painted cedar roof on the building. Some members of the board like the way it looks. Other members of the board, like Cheryl brought up at the October meeting, you just don't paint roofs made of cedar because you basically cut the lifespan to maybe a third, maybe even less. So we've exhausted this discussion, but here it goes. We would like to propose a slate roof.
Oh,
The problem with the slate roof, as our engineer will tell you, is that this structure cannot sustain it.
Yeah,
It just is not capable of sustaining the load. It's not possible. So the second best thing is, and I'm happy to come back with a new application for this, but I thought while we're here and maybe you had a few minutes, I'd like to suggest that we listen to our friends at Cedar Design. Tommy Hania has come back with a Da Vinci composition slate roof. I have some samples I can show you, or I can submit.
right. Yes.
Well,
Robert,
maybe-
I think we would have to, Pam, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is something that we would have to, you would have to resubmit another application.
I will.
And also
Yeah.
submit with that sample. So we
Will do.
right now, we cannot go there. But thank you very much.
Please just look at it as since the October meeting, we've done nothing but talk about what are we going to do with this roof. So we
Okay.
finally have a solution, and I'll get that application on Pam's desk with samples right away.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Robert. So,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you. So Pam, do we
Mr.
have
Chairman?
online?
Yes,
I'm
Andy
sorry, Pam.
Triffitt's on. Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Pam. Thank you very much. Okay, Andy, good morning, and can you bring us up to date with this application?
Hey, good morning. We have filed for a building permit, I don't know, about 6 weeks ago. We've had a little back and forth with Tom and Kent. They've asked us to make some changes to the plan, which we have done. You know, the historic part of the house, there have been some windows that the architect added with the same fenestration, you know, in kind as what's there. And all we're proposing to do is add those windows, re-shingle with the same shingles, same stain color, and paint the trim the same existing white color. I had a conversation with Billy on Friday, and he called me after he looked at the plans, and he said he didn't see any problem with the application as far as the.
Okay, thank you. Billy, good morning. Can you bring us up to date on this application?
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Yeah, so in terms of the architecture and the colors and the materials, you know, that's up to the board to decide. I didn't see any issues with it. It seems like they're matching what exists. In terms of the actual physical additions, you know, I looked it over last Thursday with Tom, and you know, it's unclear as to whether or not the one addition, the way it's drawn on the survey, it appears to require a variance because it's within the required setback. And then there's a question of internal access to another part of the addition. But in terms of architecture and this board's jurisdiction, I have no real questions or concerns about it.
Thank you. Tom Parado, can you bring us up to date from your viewpoint?
Sure, Robert, thank you. Yes, we would address any of the zoning concerns. This office doesn't really have any comment, you know, on the windows, the fenestration, the painting or anything like that. But yes, Billy and I did discuss, as did the other members in my office here, some possible zoning concerns. But I don't see that, you know, respectfully affecting your board.
Okay, so we can approve the application, Pam, the way it's presented. Tom, Pam.
No clue.
Well, I would, yeah, I mean, regardless of what's in the building, but you can't obviously approve windows or an addition that doesn't meet setback. But as far as like the garage area, we can, you know, worry about if it has that internal access as it is meant to flow from intent-wise heated space to heated space. We can discuss that, but obviously it wouldn't be within your board. You know, you would be usurping the ZBA to approve an addition that doesn't meet a setback. We haven't done, or I personally haven't done a full review of the plan. So these things are coming to light. There's, other concerns on the property that we may have put our attention towards as far as, a violation of third floor. And we were looking to get that sprinkled and squared all the way. So maybe we didn't, we were more concerned with that than the whole picture. I'll say sometimes things get lost, but regardless, it will go through its review and need what it needs.
So, Anne, what are your comments?
Well, I was a little confused by the application because it seems like it was that they're expanding the house, but all we're looking at is windows. So I was thinking that we should probably if there's a zoning issue, shouldn't it wait until the actual expansion has been approved and then look at it in its entirety instead of just looking at windows on something that's not, that there's still some zoning issues on?
Yes. Pam, what is your take on this? What do you think?
Well, maybe the village attorney should weigh in on this.
Yeah.
It's not for me to say.
Yes,
We
I
would.
think we need, I'm sorry, is the village, I don't see the village attorney on here. The
Lisa's
village
here.
Here.
Oh,
Lisa.
hi,
You
Lisa.
see me? Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Could you weigh in on this application?
Sure. Well, I agree with your take that it's a premature if there's still outstanding zoning issues.
Yeah.
I don't know the parameters of exactly what may or may not change subject to the zoning approval. So it may be precipitous.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I personally, my opinion is that the windows and the siding would not be a problem. However, I do think that if there are zoning issues and we have some issue regarding the interior layout or access or any kind of situation like this, I think we should first wait until the zoning people take a look at this application, and whatever variances need to be done is commented upon. So I don't feel that we should do anything with this right now except let the other people look at this. Is there any comments on that?
Yeah, can I just say one thing respectfully?
Sure.
So after talking to Billy on Friday, he made me aware of the issue of how you can't go from conditioned space to unconditioned to conditioned. I have a plan from the architect that we were going to submit to the building department today to rectify that issue. The thing that was brought up about the addition possibly needing a variance, if they look at the plan, it looks like the surveyor shaded part of the house as being all addition when he shaded part of the house that was actually existing, which is non-conforming, pre-existing non-conforming. The addition that we're proposing is within the setbacks. So I can bring documentation into the building department today to show that.
Yeah, I mean, until I actually look at that, I guess
Yes.
we're still somewhat on hold. I mean,
That's fine.
yeah, but I'd be glad to have a look at that.
Yes. So my recommendation is, why don't you submit that and we'll find out about it needs a variance and clear it all with Tom and also with Billy. And we'll put this application on hold until we have all the necessary documentation and approval. So we'll regard this as one whole application and not try to do it in piecemeal. The other recommendation is when you do come before the board again, maybe you also would like to have the architect with you so we could speak to him about the plans. So it would be more complete, okay?
I completely understand. I only got the Zoom invitation this morning, so I was kind of
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I apologize.
That's okay. So my recommendation is we'll deal with you'll deal with Tom, Billy. We'll find out about the zoning. We'll come back with a complete application and new plans. Also, the architect should be represented here also. Okay, and then, thank you. And we'll put this, Pam, on hold until
Sure.
you receive all the documentation.
Yep, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome, and thank you, and have a nice day.
You too.
Yes. Are there any other questions regarding anything that we've discussed so far this morning?
You know, I'd like to tell you a funny story. about when that house was first built. I worked with a fella years ago that worked on that house. And when I see they're going to reshingle the sidewalls of the house, which made me think of it. And we used to use what you call a story pole, where you lay out your courses on the for the sidewalls. The only thing is they didn't put top on the top of that story pole. So one crew started on one side and they used the stick one way. Guys worked on the other side, turned the stick around, it was upside down. So they got finished. They were course and a half out of whack. And the fellow I worked with, I said, well, what did you do? He says, I told the boss, he says, you got us into this mess. Now it's time you get us out.
It's funny.
That made me think of it when I saw the wood shingles on that. We did quite a little work on that house. Is when he told me about that, I kind of had to chuckle. Piece of history.
Yeah,
That was funny.
part of the craftsmanship.
I do remember when years ago when we did use story poles. I wonder if any of the people use it today, the builders, but I do remember that.
Well, we used to use we had a long tube and you put water in it, and it had a plastic tube on the top of each end, and you jiggled it around to get your courses right. But I don't know, I guess they probably use a transit or probably have other ways of doing it like that. The old method was kind of hard to beat.
Wow.
You had to remember to put top on the top of that story.
Exactly. Cheryl, thank you for that piece of history.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or concerns? Anne, Amy, anyone?
No.
Okay. Pam, any concerns or any items we may want to discuss here?
Nothing else from me.
Okay, if not, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make
Do I
a
have a
motion.
motion? Thank you, Cheryl. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Amy, and thank you. All in favor?
Bye.
Okay, have a great day. Thank you
Have a good
all.
one.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Shovel handy.